Warren Buffett is 93 years old. And if you had to boil down his entire legendary career into just one single idea, it would be patience. But that idea, that philosophy of slow, consistent growth, man, it feels almost radical today, doesn't it? Especially in a world of 7-second videos and overnight hype. So in this explainer, we're going to dig into why this old school wisdom is actually more critical now than ever before. All right, let's get into it.
To really get the power of what we're talking about, you just need one number. 99%. 99% of Warren Buffett's entire net worth was earned after he turned 50. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. Nearly all of his insane fortune was built in the second half of his life. This is not a story about getting rich quick. No way. This is the ultimate story of getting rich slow. And this quote, this one right here, sums it all up perfectly. Buffett basically saw the stock market as this giant machine, and its whole purpose was to take money from the people who are always busy, always trading, and give it to the people who can just wait. Think about it. The active trader, the person who's glued to their phone, buying and selling all day, they're essentially just handing their money over to the one who has the discipline to be patient.
So how did he actually do it? To really grasp this, we've got to dive into the world of the man himself. Let's look at how he built an entire empire on this one simple but, let's be honest, incredibly difficult principle of just waiting. Okay, check this out. This timeline really shows you the slow burn of what people call compounding. Where your money starts making its own money. So he hits millionaire status at 30. That's pretty impressive. But look at this. It takes him another 26 years just to become a billionaire. But then, that's when the real explosion happens. That massive jump from 1 billion to over 100 billion, that almost entirely happened after he was old enough to get senior discounts. That's the power of compounding. It's a snowball effect that took half a century to really get rolling. You gotta love this analogy. It's one of his most famous, and it just nails his whole worldview, doesn't it? He understood that the things that have true value, whether it's a business or something in your own life, they have their own natural timeline. You just can't rush them. Trying to speed up the process doesn't work. Some things, they just take time. And look, this isn't just some fair weather philosophy for when things are going great. Picture this. He's 44 years old, the market crashes, and his personal net worth gets chopped almost in half. Most people would be freaking out, right? Selling everything. But what did Buffett do? He stayed cool, and he made one of his most iconic investments ever. He bought See's candies. That one move would go on to return something like 8,000%. So the key takeaway here is that his patience wasn't just a strategy. It was his secret weapon when everything was falling apart. Okay, so that's Buffett's world. Slow, deliberate, patient. Now, let's talk about our world, because the difference is, well, it's pretty jarring. And it's the real reason why his advice is so incredibly hard for us to follow today. I mean, this comparison lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got Buffett, who literally spends 5 to 6 hours a day just reading, trying to deeply understand things. And on the other side, there's us. We wake up, and what's the first thing we do? We grab our phones and start scrolling through endless little videos. He'll wait years, sometimes a decade, for the perfect opportunity. We get FOMO, that fear of missing out, if we don't jump on some new trend we heard about yesterday. It's like we're running on 2 completely different operating systems. And it's because we live in what you could call the dopamine economy, right? It's this whole ecosystem of constant notifications, chasing likes, infinite scrolling, all designed to give us these tiny, fleeting hits of pleasure. The whole system is engineered to make you compare your life to everyone else's, to make you feel like you're constantly falling behind. It's an engine that rewards you for being frantic and shallow. And what does that do? It absolutely destroys our ability to be patient. So the big question is, if we're living in a world that's actively working against us, how do we even begin to fight back? Well, luckily, Buffett actually gives us a game plan. Let's break down his 3 pillars for building a mindset that can actually survive and thrive in all this chaos. And what's great is that this framework is super simple, easy to remember. It's basically your toolkit for cutting through all the noise. You've got number 1, strategic patience, number 2, your circle of competence, and number 3, emotional discipline. These 3 ideas, when you put them together, are like a powerful shield against our entire culture of instant gratification. All right, first up is strategic patience. Now, this doesn't just mean sitting on your hands and doing nothing. Not at all. It's an active discipline. It's about saving your energy and your capital for that one perfect pitch. A great example is the 2008 financial crisis. The world was panicking. And what did Buffett do?
He calmly invested in Goldman Sachs. He waited for that exact moment of maximum fear, while everyone else was reacting to the latest headline, to find an incredible opportunity. Okay, pillar number 2, the circle of competence. This one is all about humility. It's about knowing what you know, and maybe more importantly, knowing what you don't know. It means you only play the games that you know you can win. This is exactly why Buffett famously sat out the dot-com bubble. He just straight up said, I don't understand these tech companies, so he didn't invest. In our world today, that's like having the strength to ignore that hot new crypto coin or NFT just because it's trending online. And finally, emotional discipline. Honestly, in the digital age, this is a legit superpower. It's the ability to detach your emotions from your decisions. Think about it. Social media algorithms are literally designed to provoke an emotion: hype, outrage, envy, panic. So being able to master your emotional reactions when the whole world is screaming at you, that isn't just a good idea. It's a form of digital self-defense. Which brings us to the big, kind of ironic question, right? We all hear this advice. We nod along, we know it makes sense. So why is it so darn hard for most of us to actually do it? Well, it's hard because the entire system around us is built to work against patience. Our economy celebrates speed and short-term results. Our social feeds create this constant pressure to keep up. The media, the endless stream of digital distractions, they make deep, focused thinking incredibly difficult. So if you struggle with this, it's not just a personal failure. We are all swimming against a very, very powerful current. And this isn't just a feeling, it's backed up by research. A study from Stanford University found a direct link. The more we're exposed to all these digital distractions, the more our capacity for that sustained, deep focus just goes down. In other words, our modern environment is literally rewiring our brains in a way that makes Buffett's style of thinking harder and harder to achieve. So we're left with this question. Buffett's success proves that patience is this incredibly powerful tool for building wealth and structuring your life, yet everything in our culture screams at us to move faster, decide quicker, and react instantly. Knowing all of this, the challenge for all of us is simple, but it's also profound. In a world that demands speed, do you dare to walk slowly?